recording.
All right, welcome everybody. It is a very cold, very snowy Friday, February 7th here in Colorado, and we are here to go over this week's round of Final Order Cutoff Roundup. So we'll talk more in just a second. Dom was going to hit us with an intro.
What's your plan for tomorrow? Are you a leader or will you follow? Are you a fighter or will you cower? It's our time, get back the power. What's your plan?
All right.
First of all, your plan for tomorrow should be to stop by Hall of Justice Comics from 11 to 1 and pick up some Girl Scout cookies, because we will have a booth set up.
There's a nice little pop-up in the bottom of their screen.
I saw that when I was watching just now. That's pretty cool. So yeah, if you've got nothing going on, if you want to brave the elements, come hang out here at the store tomorrow from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. We'll have the Girl Scouts here selling cookies by the case if you'd like. They're taking cash or credit cards, so you don't have to worry about going to the ATM if you don't have the money. But first of all, yeah, come hang out with us tomorrow and do that. But we are here live on a Friday afternoon, Friday morning-ish, pre-afternoon, I don't know. To go over Final Order Cutoff with you. And so Final Order Cutoff is something that we as a comic book store do every single week. It always happens, like FOC happens on Monday. Monday by technically 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time is the cutoff for comic book stores from around the world to get their final orders in for all of these titles that we're going to go over. And once the publishers get the information on Tuesday morning from Diamond, that's how the publishers set their print runs. So all of these comic shops all over the world are doing Final Order Cutoff Monday before 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Tuesday, the reports get out to DC and Marvel and Image and IDW and Boom and Dynamite and all the comic publishers that says these retailers ordered this many copies of whatever book. And so publishers set their print runs based on that. They always have a little bit extra. There's a little bit of wiggle room that they build into that to account for shortages and damages. But that's why it's so important that you guys give us your orders by Monday. We say 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time for us here at Hall of Justice Comics. Different stores have different rules. If you're not one of our customers, and that's totally cool because we do this as an informative thing for everybody on the internet, get in touch with your local comic book store and find out what their cutoff for orders are for Monday for Final Order Cutoff. So does that make sense? I think I went over that. Okay. But Final Order Cutoff, it's our last chance to manipulate numbers, generally 2 to 3 weeks before the books ship out to us. So the stuff that we're going to go over here on the screen behind me is all on cutoff this coming Monday, February 10th, and most of these titles are going to be in store on March 4th. We're already talking about March, which is freaking crazy. It is nuts. We're not even to Valentine's Day, and we're ordering comics for March. So for our show, for the purpose of our show, when you're watching this video, if you would like to subscribe to any of these titles, please comment sub, and we will add that book to your hold slot so that you get, if we're going to go over issue number 1, you'll get issue 1, 2, 3, and then every month when we do initial order, it'll the Comic Suite, the program that we use to maintain all of our subscriptions, will automatically order that book for you until you tell us you don't want it anymore or until the series ends. So subscribe adds the title to your hold slot. If you're not sure, if you don't want to commit to anything, if you want to get a copy to read it before you figure it out, that's cool. But just remember that typically the way that FOC works, like this week, this coming Monday, we're FOCing all of the titles that came out this Wednesday. So if you just want to pull a copy to read it and check it out, you need to come in and pick it up when it comes out, read it, and then let us know if you'd like to subscribe to it by that following Monday. So you've got Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, because that title will be on cutoff again for the second issue, whatever it is, that following Monday of the release. That's why it's super important. I don't have any problems. You guys can pull copies all that you want, but if you pull a copy and you really enjoy it and you don't tell me that you want it on your subscription, you might not get a copy of the second issue or the third issue or whatever it is. So that's why this is super important. So if you would just like to pull a copy or multiple copies of one cover or a variety of covers, comment pull with the issue, the title, and the cover of your choice, and then the quantity. So if you want 4 copies of the Art Germ Mercy variant, you can comment pull Mercy Art Germ 4 copies. Okay? Does that make sense? Again,
Yes.
okay, all right.
Makes sense, Jim.
Try to, I know what I'm going to say, but when I get it out, I don't know. Okay, so first off, this first title is pretty interesting because it is published by a company. It's a brand new comic book it's new within the last year. Brand new comic publisher called Ablaze. Ablaze decided they're doing a series called Vampire State Building. They're doing is it Unsacred from Mirka Andolfo? They're doing Kids. They're doing a couple. There are 4 or 5 titles that are pretty interesting, with some killer talent behind them. This series is called Cimmerian, Queen of the Black Coast. And if you guys are familiar with Robert E. Howard or any of the Conan mythology, you'll know that Belit is the Queen of the Black Coast. This is a Conan story. Ablaze got into a lot of trouble because they decided to publish a Conan story when Marvel technically has the license to publish Conan comic books. And so they solicited this particular series, I want to say it was maybe 8 months ago, and then they got embroiled in a bunch of legal issues with Marvel and with the Robert E. Howard family, because they wanted to tell this story from a very mature standpoint, and they didn't get a chance to because of all this red tape and stuff. Hi, guys. So I guess within the last couple of weeks, they've managed to get their stuff together and iron all the kinks out, and Marvel and Robert E. Howard have given them the go-ahead to continue printing this comic book. So that's what this is. This is Cimmerian, Queen of the Black Coast #1. For the first time, Robert E. Howard's Conan is brought to life uncensored.
Wow.
Discover the true Conan, unrestrained, violent, and sexual. Read the story as he intended. Pursued for killing a judge, Conan finds refuge on a merchant ship, but soon after setting sail, the Cimmerian and his new companions face a threat. The legendary Belit, self-proclaimed Queen of the Black Coast. The book includes bonus material, and the actual Robert E. Howard short story is included in the comic book, which is super cool. Cover A right here is by Jason Metcalf. Cover B on Dom's side is by Mirka Andolfo. And cover C down below is a swipe of Action Comics #1 by none other than Mr. Ed Benez. So,
With a boat.
yeah, picking up a boat instead of a car.
I got a boat.
That's something Conan would do. I'm on a boat!
I'm on a boat.
Boats and hoes! Boats and hoes! So again,
Wine mixer.
pow! If you would like to subscribe to Cimmerian, Queen of the Black Coast, please comment sub. If you would just like to pull one of either of those 3 awesome covers, you can comment pull Cimmerian, Queen of the Black Coast with whichever cover you choose. Okay? Next up from DC, in stores on March 4th, we've got Batman number 90, and we've got a creative team change up here. We still have James Tynion, who's doing the writing, but Jorge Jimenez, who was on Teen Titans and who was on Justice League, is now taking over drawing Batman, which I am super pumped about. That dude is amazing. I mean, look at the main cover right there. Phenomenal. And so with issue number 90, the mysterious master criminal known only as the Designer once brought together Gotham's greatest criminals to plot the perfect crime. Now his plan has been unleashed upon the city in all its might. Batman will go to any length to uncover the grand design, but Catwoman is the one who holds the greatest secret. If Batman wins against the Designer, he will lose everything. Featuring the debut of Jorge Jimenez on art and main cover, with a variant cover on Dom's side by Francesco Mattina with a very creepy Riddler. It looks like he's
I'm not a
got...
fan of that one.
No? It looks like he's carved question marks into his face, which is terrifying. Like that's pretty, right? That's twisted, man. Main cover by Jorge Jimenez, variant cover by Francisco Matina, Batman number 90, in stores March 4th. Next up from DC, also in stores March 4th, we've got Harley 71. Harley thought a little trip to LA would help her cope with grief, but grief followed her all the way to the West Coast. When a new friend of hers dies, she knows in her heart that there is foul play at work. She'll have to put down her mallet and pick up a magnifying glass to prove her friend was murdered. And will Booster Gold help her investigation or only hinder it? So this is cool because you saw them working together or separately in Heroes in Crisis, and so Booster and Harley are back together in Harley 71. The main cover is listed as Guillaume Marsh, but I am not positive if that... It doesn't look like his style. It's a cool cover, but it's not his normal style. I mean, that's who's to say that he can't change his style every now and then. But the variant cover on Dom's side is by Frank Cho. I love that she's named her mallet the Luck of the Irish and beat up a leprechaun to steal his pot of gold. That's fantastic. So
And Harley takes the gold.
Harley takes the gold, missing a couple of teeth. I'm excited about this next one. DC has given us an advanced copy of this next one that I need to have everybody read because Tom King is back in the helm, just like with Mr. Miracle that came out last year, the year before, taking a relatively, I mean, he's not obscure, but definitely not one of the mainstream DC characters and kind of redoing everything about him. And he's at it again with Strange Adventures #1 in stores on March 4th. Adam Strange is a hero of Rann, a man famous throughout the galaxy for his bravery and honor. After leading his adopted home to victory in a great planetary war, Adam and his wife Alana retire to Earth, where they are greeted by cheers, awards, and parades. That's all good stuff right there.
Right. It's a very stranger danger.
Exactly. But not all is as happy and as nice as it seems, as the decisions that Adam made during battles on Rann come back to haunt his family and threaten the entire DC universe. And now a surprise DC hero will have to choose between saving Adam Strange and saving the world. A story like no other, Strange Adventures is an ambitious, thrilling, shocking, and beautiful 12-issue saga that will push Adam Strange to the breaking point and beyond. So you've got Tom King, Mitch Gerads, and Doc Shaner kind of teaming up on this book. The main cover on my side is by Mitch Gerads. The variant cover on Dom's side is by Doc Shaner. So you've got a good guy, bad guy kind of scenario on the screen there. There is also going to be a blank cover that will be available with just the Strange Adventures title on it. DC just announced that this is... Yeah, exactly, right there. The big old white spot. DC announced that it will now be part of the Black Label family. It is going to be comic book sized, and the cover price on the book is going to be $4.99. So, if you don't want to miss out on what is probably going to be one of the best comic books of the year, mainstream comic books of the year, let us know now if you want to get subscribed to Strange Adventures.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Black Label.
Yeah. And following suit with the debut of the new Strange Adventures, we get a facsimile edition of Mystery in Space number 75. This is crazy because in this novel-length story, Adam Strange enlists the help of the Justice League of America to help capture his greatest foe, Kanjar Ro, who made his first appearance in Justice League of America number 3. Okay. The fans voted that this was the best book-length story in 1962. That doesn't happen anymore.
Really?
You know what I mean? Because, first of all,
Marvel
comics...
would never be part of that because they can't write anything.
well, comic books nowadays, you don't get a single issue that's a self-contained story. Everybody's writing comic books for... Well, yeah, that's true. That's true.
This is not a one-shot. This is continuity.
This was Mystery in Space 75. So the next month 76 came out. But back in the Silver Age, all of these books were self-contained stories. So in this issue, which I actually have because stupid Aquaman's in it, because he's a member of the JLA, you know, he enlists all of the help of the Justice League. It's kind of a tie into Justice League of America number 3 because the JLA fights Kanjar Ro in 3. But it's cool. It's a $4 reprint.
Kanjar Ro?
That's the guy that's right there on the cover, the purple guy. He's got beetle eyes. No, he's just an alien. He's all about enslaving people.
Why is his name Kung Fu Joe?
Kanjar Ro.
Oh, okay.
Peanut butter and jelly time. I don't know.
He looks like Bruce Lee, man.
He's banging a gong. The ultrasonic vibrations of my gamma metal gong have frozen Adam Strange motionless. My next victims will be the Justice League of America. Win is a gong.
I'm gonna get one of those bongs.
We should just write some comics like it's the Silver Age.
Freaking gong.
Ridiculous.
Maybe some tambourines.
Right. Okay. So from IDW this week, we get a new Crow 3-issue miniseries called, I don't know how to pronounce that word, Leith? I don't know. Oh, Letha? Lethi?
Hey,
Lahardy? The Crow Lahardy?
Lahardy the Crow.
He is Noel Narcos, that's a cool name, popular performer in the Freak Chic Circus sideshow, able to endure horrific violence on his body without pain, but outside his nightly shows, Noel is a blank slate, hence his first name, with only faint but disturbing memories of who he was before revealed. With only faint but disturbing memories of who he was before. That sentence doesn't make sense. When other performers begin dying mysteriously, Noel is haunted by a golden-eyed stalker and begins to remember a life he thought long gone, a life full of murder, terror, and black wings. I dig the Crow. The main cover is by Peach Momoko, who is killing it right now. She's doing everything, it seems. And the variant cover, Peach Momoko, that'd be pretty cool. Variant cover on Dom's side is by none other than Mr. Tim Seeley, and that's quite disturbing as he's drilling into his nose. He's got a rod through his neck and a nail in his head. Huh?
He's got a Robbie going in there.
He's got a Robbie?
That's a Robbie.
The Crow, Leith, number 1 of 3-issue miniseries from the folks at IDW. Here we go. I'm excited about this next one.
What is it?
From Image this week, we get a new series from Mirka Andolfo, who did Unsacred, and who did... What's the other one?
Oh, they're just pumping them out.
She is killing it right now. What's the one that about the little pig girl?
On something.
Was that wasn't Unsacred, was it?
No, it's
I can't think of the name. Leslie, the little pig girl. Unnatural and Unsacred. How are we supposed to keep... At least this one's a different letter.
right.
This sounds great, though. If you're a fan of Penny Dreadful or Crimson Peak, this has your name written all over it. When the placid mining village of Woodsburg is disturbed by a series of brutal murders, the settlement is in turmoil. As the first snow covers the chaos in a white blanket, much like today, a mysterious woman in black arrives, eliciting a totally different kind of unrest. But who is Lady Helene really, and what's her secret agenda? The creator from Unnatural, Mirka Andolfo, is back with she's writing and drawing this sensual Victorian Gothic horror about otherness, damnation, redemption, and what it means to be a monster in a horror tale. Perfect for fans of Penny Dreadful, Crimson Peak, The Alienist, Parasol Protector. I don't know what some of these things are. But there is a whole mess of covers to go through here. First off, right here is the main cover by Mirka Andolfo herself. Cover B on Dom's side is by Humberto Ramos. How about that? Cover C,
Archer?
killing it by Archer, man. Holy smokes.
That's awesome.
Fantastic.
Awesome.
Cover D on Dom's side is no slouch either. That's Enrico Marini doing that one. And last but not least, we have cover E, which is a cosplay cover. There is also a cover F on Dom's side, which is a blank cover, but there's no trade dress or anything for that. Yeah, it's right. It's right there. It fits. It fits in everything.
Dude, Archer was killing.
Yeah, they're all good, man. Yeah. I don't know. The Ramos is probably my least favorite. When you pair it up next to the Andolfo, the Art Germ, and the Enrico Marini over there, they're just spectacular. So I'm pumped. I'm pumped to read this. I need to see if we got an advanced PDF of that too, because I really like her stuff. Next from Image, we have a 3-issue crossover series called Outer Darkness and Chew. So Outer Darkness, for those of you who don't know, is a series. It's a sci-fi book written by John Layman. John Layman and Rob Guillory last teamed up on Chew, which is a story about a detective who is what they call a sebopath. So he can take a bite of food and tell you all about where it came from and how the cows were treated and what pasture they were raised on and all this kind of crazy stuff. So it's kind of bizarre that they're doing a crossover, a space thing with a weird detective story. Tony Chu's a modern-day cop who gets psychic impressions from what he eats. Joshua Rigg is a 28th century starship captain who flies through an outer space filled with demons, monsters, and ghosts. Sounds like a perfect recipe for a comic book crossover, doesn't it? Well, be careful what you wish for, because Chew in Outer Darkness is warping your way, bringing together the reunited multiple Eisner Award-winning Chew team of John Layman and Rob Guillory with Outer Darkness's regular resident artistic genius Afua Chan. The main cover on my side is by, I don't know if it's Afu or Afua, but that's by Chan, and the variant cover on Dom's side is by Rob Guillory. So if you're subscribed to Outer Darkness, we'll probably put you on this crossover. If Chew hasn't been published in like 3 or 4 years, so if you were getting that series and you want this one, please let us know. Okay? Next from Marvel, they're still cramming this whole 2020 thing down everybody's throats. We've got 2020. You okay? Dom, wake up.
Oh, I got 2020 fatigue.
Dom's 2020 tired.
Oh, good Lord.
2020 Rescue #1 of 2. It's a 2-issue miniseries. You would?
Because Pepper Potts, yeah.
Yeah.
I want to see what that's about.
Sure.
But other than that, I have no interest.
Yeah. Pepper Potts moved on from Tony Stark. She's getting her life together, finding her place in the world. Unfortunately, that's exactly when Tony Stark decides it's time for a full-tilt, full-blown meltdown. And if Pepper can't suit up and save the day, Tony is toast. 2-issue miniseries, $3.99. I guess I missed. There's a B cover by Jen Bartel that's pretty cool, but I forgot to post it. But if the last 2 books that were on FOC, I don't even remember the names. Machine Man, and then there was Forceworks. We had nobody ask for either of those, so I didn't order any. So same thing is going to go with this. If you guys want it, let me know. Because if you don't, I'm not going to order any. Next from Marvel, in stores on March 4th, we have Marvel #1 of 6. 30 years ago, Alex Ross had a vision of a new series showing the Marvel heroes in a way they'd never been seen before. The first realization of that idea became the blockbuster Marvel's series. But today, Alex finally brings about his original vision, an anthology of stories by unique, exceptional talents, many of whom are doing Marvel characters for the very first time. Over this showcase series, you'll see work by such artists as Adam Hughes, Bill Sienkiewicz, Dan Brereton, and more, linked together by an overarching story by Alex Ross and Steve Darnall. This inaugural issue kicks it all off with superstar artist Frank Espinoza, who is a Looney Tunes, who drew Looney Tunes, telling an unusual Spider-Man story, and Steve Rude of Nexus fame teaming up with Kurt Busiek for an Avengers story framed by Alex and Steve Darnall, presenting a tale of the dread Dreamland nightmare and his threat to the entire Marvel Universe and possibly beyond. A once-in-a-lifetime assemblage of talent you won't want to miss a single page. 6-issue miniseries, $4.99 a piece. Main cover on my side is by Mr. Alex Ross. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Steve Rude. Let us know if you'd like to add that to your subscription.
We love you.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye, guys.
Have a good day.
You too.
Bye.
Next up from Marvel in stores on March 4th, we've got Spider-Man Noir miniseries, a 5-issue miniseries. Murder and mystery. Yeah, I'm pumped about this. In the mighty Marvel manner. Dateline 1939, as the specter of war looms on the horizon, Spider-Man Noir fights the good fight at home, stopping the injustices of a more friendly neighborhood variety. Excuse me. But after a dame is murdered at the Black Cat nightclub and all clues point overseas, Spidey will have no choice but to board the next flight to Europe and kick off a globe-trotting adventure through yesteryear of the Marvel Universe.
I think they can dig this one.
Me too. Main cover on my side is by Dave Raposa. No offense to Ron Lim, but the A cover is so much better than the Ron Lim variant cover. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Ron Lim. Like, he couldn't even put any definition in the shadows of his legs. Like, I don't like it. I don't like
Look
it.
at the detail in the jewelry.
Yeah, exactly.
Whatever that bug is. That is crazy.
So, again, 5-issue miniseries, Spider-Man Noir, number 1 of 5, in stores March 4th. This next one I'm pretty pumped about. First of all, it's written by Scotty Young. Second of all, the artwork and the main cover are by Humberto Ramos. This is called Strange Academy number 1, a sorcerer's school for the Marvel Universe. So if your kids dig Harry Potter, but they also like Marvel stuff, this is going to be amazing. The Marvel Universe has mysteriously changed in such an alarming way that Doctor Strange has done what he's avoided for decades. He's opened a school for young sorcerers. Young people from around the world with aptitude in magic have been brought together in New Orleans, of course.
This would be hot.
Yes. To study the mystic arts under Strange, Brother Voodoo, the Ancient One, Scarlet Witch,
Holy crap.
Magic, Hellstrom, and all your favorite Marvel magicians. But with all the new magical threats, is it too late? Written by Scotty Young with art and main cover by Ramos. So there is a... We'll go over the covers that I have here. So that's the main cover right there by Ramos. The variant cover that's on Dom's side is Scotty Young. This big... scroll down a bit. This big wraparound cover is the Ramos design variant, which is pretty cool. So you can get an idea of some of the feel for the characters from that little preview there. There is also an Art Adams character spotlight variant that I don't have an image for, and there's a J. Scott Campbell variant cover that's going to be cover price that I don't have the image for. So make sure you guys let us know if you would like this on your subscription, or if you just like to pull any one of these.
This one.
Yeah, right? Well, and that's... So the last 2 weeks when Marvel books have been hitting the shelves, there's a Strange Academy preview in those books. So we'll have to dig one out and take a look and flip through it and see what it's like. It sounds like it's going to be a blast. So Strange Academy number 1.
It's like a new age,
Yeah, new magic mutants sort of thing. From Boom Studios this week in stores on March 4th comes King of Nowhere number 1 of 5. Where you going? Fucking nowhere. Eisner Award nominated writer W. Maxwell Prince, who's on the hit image book Ice Cream Man right now, comes to Boom Studios with Eisner nominated artist Tyler Jenkins of Grass Kings and Black Badge for an unforgettable thriller that explores the miraculous, the mundane, and all the mysteries in between. Lovable, drunken lowlife Dennis awakens on the outskirts of a mysterious village called Nowhere, home to a friendly populace of deformed, mutated, just left of normal citizens, and he has no memory of how he got there. But just when Dennis starts to regain his memories, his past catches up to him, literally. What at first seems like merely a bad trip quickly heightens into a drama of mistaken identities, small-town conspiracy, and high-stakes fantasy fulfillment. That sounds fun. Main cover on my side is by Tyler Jenkins, who is doing the artwork inside the book. Variant cover on Dom's side is by Martin Morazzo. And check out this FOC variant is freaking amazing. It's only available right now at Final Order Cutoff by Christian Ward. So that is... Ask for it now. Nowhere, King of Nowhere, number 1, 5-issue miniseries from the fine folks at Boom Studios. Next up, from Aftershock this week, we've got a new series called Join the Future. The Future. Ultra-modern megacities reward millions of their citizens with a completely funded life. Man, I'm in for that. With every need met, from food to housing and healthcare, in order to compete in an economic power struggle in which population is key. But a few rural residents still cling to their independence in what last American small towns are left. When a nearby megacity pressures the people of a small town to join up or else, a young teenage girl named Clem will learn how far she'll go to defend her principles. Written by Zach Kaplan of Lost City Explorers fame, with art from Peter Kowalski, Port of Earth, Eclipse, Sex, Marvel Knights, Hulk, all kinds of stuff. Join the Future is a sci-fi western that examines a future where everyone must ask what your values are truly worth. Very little is my answer to that. I'm just kidding.
Place is worth like 6-7 million.
No, shut your face hole. So that's cool. That's a cool book from Aftershock. Check that one out. And I think last but not least, if you guys like sword and sorcery, Dungeons and Dragons, if you're digging Critical Role, this series may be right up your alley. And it's from the writer of Rat Queens, so you know it's going to be fantastic. We have
It's like the guy from Once and Future.
It does. You're absolutely right. And almost like his girlfriend right there on the top, too. Dryad number 1, we've got best-selling writer Curtis Weeb from Rat Queens and newcomer artist Justin Osterling launch a new ongoing fantasy series. An elf and a human find solace in the sleepy forest settlement of Frostbrook, where they plant their roots, but 13 years later, their twins Griffin and Rana are inexplicably drawn to an ancient door and discover more than they bargained for, inadvertently turning their world upside down. Now they'll have to answer for their parents' mistakes and find that the past has a way of finding you no matter where you hide. Main cover A right here is by Thomas Oleksic. And cover B on Dom's side is by Fiona Staples. Just go back to drawing Saga, Fiona. But I'm just kidding. That's a pretty cool. It's a cool cover. It's a great. It does. I mean, that looks like it could be a page in Saga, which is interesting. So Dryad, a new ongoing fantasy series from the folks at Oni Press. Okay. Next up, wow, I don't know what that weird font text is. That's probably something to do with the coding, but that's okay. Don't worry about that little thing up there. What we have next is the entire list of the books that are on Final Order Cutoff this Monday. It's broken down alphabetically by publisher, and all you have to do if you have any questions, like let's go, for example, let's go to Marvel, and let's go to the 2020, what the hell is it called? 2020, where the hell is that? Why is it? 2020 Rescue number 1 of 2, the Bartel variant.
2020?
Yeah. Yep, that one right there. So just grab that item code, copy that sucker, open up a web browser, paste that into the search bar, and then the very first item that's going to come up is going to be the Previews World listing for that particular item code. In Previews World, just so you know,
That's awesome.
right? It's pretty cool. I meant to grab that and add it to the thing, but I forgot. So, Previews World is the consumer-facing side of Diamond Comics. You can hang out on this site and just search your heart's content for all kinds of fun stuff. And as long as you get your order to us by Monday, 5 p.m. Mountain Standard Time, February 10th, you're in for just about anything that we can get for you. So. That kind of wraps up our Final Order Cutoff Roundup this week. If you guys have questions, please feel free to shout. Let us know. You can send us a message. You can call the store. You can shoot us an email to hojcomics@gmail.com. And we post this video. We're obviously live right now,
Yes.
but we also post this video to our Facebook page so you can watch it later on. And then we also add it to our YouTube channel, which I haven't checked to see where we're at subscriber-wise. I know we just had somebody else that signed up the other day. We're very close. But check out, if you go to YouTube, search for Hall of Justice Comics, you'll find all of our videos there that we do for weekly FOC Roundups. There's also some how to assemble a drawer box and information about comic supplies and how CGC works and all that sort of stuff. So make sure that you subscribe to that YouTube channel and ring that bell for notifications when we post new videos. Join us tomorrow. Make sure you come to the store tomorrow from 11 to 1. Support the Girl Scouts. Buy some cookies. And we'll be here, rain, snow, shine, just like the mail.
Just like the mail.
Always comics. All right? Thank you guys very much. I'm John.
I'm Dom.
We'll see you next week.